Tech jobs have always seemed glamorous, high pay, flexible hours, endless perks. But as we step into 2025, the landscape has changed. Layoffs, the rise of AI, and a shifting job market has redefined what it means to work in tech. So in this video, I want to dive into what it means for us, especially if you're a fresh graduate or someone who's looking to break into tech. After the hiring boom of the pandemic, the tech industry has been facing layoffs and major restructuring. Going into 2025, the dust is slowly settling down, but the path to a career in tech looks a lot different from a few years ago. The job market, when I started working as a software engineer back in 2021, just 3 years ago, looks a lot different to what it is now. So I want to touch upon a few key points in this video, including some of the major ones like job market, impact of AI, the skills you need to stay relevant in current market. Remember the pandemic boom? The great resignation where everyone was upgrading their jobs and companies couldn't hire fast enough. By 2022, that bubble started to deflate. In 2023 and into 2024, we saw significant layoffs across the tech industry. According to MetaCrunch, companies like Meta and Google were not just trimming fat, they were restructuring entire teams. We saw this in action with over 100,000 layoffs. Fast forward to 2024, and it feels like the dust is settling, sort of. So here is what you need to know about the current job market. Hiring has slowed. Companies are still hiring, but they're highly selective and even cautious in many cases. The massive hiring spree of 2021 that made it feel like anyone with a basic knowledge of Python could land a six-figure job has long gone. Today, it's all about the right fit, proven experience, and making sure the hire adds direct value to the company. And then there is AI. ChatGPT, Bard, GitHub Copilot, Cursor, and now Replit have fundamentally changed what it means to be a developer. The question of 2024 is not, will AI take software jobs? But it's more like, how will AI reshape the future of these jobs? In my opinion, here's the truth. AI has automated a lot of grunt work. If you need to whip up an API quickly, an AI tool can do it in a matter of few minutes. But it doesn't mean developers are obsolete. It's quite the opposite. The developers thriving today are the ones who knows how to work with these AI tools. Instead of spending time on all these repetitive tasks, now we can focus on high-level problems, understanding client requirements, architecting solutions, security, scalability, all these major pillars of software development. So in short, your role as a developer in 2024 or going into this AI future is more strategic. It's less about the raw coding and more about problem solving and leveraging these AI tools as a powerful assistant. And that brings us to skills. The tech stack of 2024 looks different from even just a couple of years ago. The truth is, being a specialist in one programming language or one framework isn't enough anymore. Employers are looking for versatility. Full stack is in demand. Engineers who know both front-end and back-end, as well as cloud infrastructure, are most desirable candidates. And on top of that, cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, and GCP are more important than ever. So if you haven't added a cloud certification to your resume yet, now is the time. Programming languages like Go and Rust are becoming more popular, especially for system-level programming and infrastructure. The need to understand data engineering, how the data flows, and how to optimize for reliability and scalability are more critical than ever before. And at the end, the ability to pivot from one framework to another back into DevOps is what will keep you competitive in today's market. Remember how we all thought remote work was the future forever? Well, 2024 has redefined that. Most of the major tech firms like Google, Microsoft, and even Apple has settled into a hybrid model 3 days in the office, 2 days from home. So the company I work for has opted for the same. I have 3 days office and 2 days work from home. Even though most of the team I work with are abroad, I end up going to the office and sitting in Zoom meetings. It's not rational to think about it, but that's what companies need these days. The message is clear. In-person collaboration still matters to them, especially for new graduates and entry-level employees. It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, being in the office means learning opportunities, mentorship, and networking. On the other hand, it takes away the flexibility which drew many people into this field in the first place. Still, startups and smaller companies tend to be more flexible. Many are still embracing full remote, but it comes with its own set of challenges. Remote work isn't just about flexibility. It requires discipline, communication skills, and a knack for asynchronous collaboration. And companies want proof that you can thrive in these conditions. Now, the big question, compensation. Tech still pays well, but it's not the 2021 gold rush anymore. Salaries have leveled out. While you can still make six figures, the competition is higher and companies have tightened their belts. Stock options and RSUs aren't an easy option as they used to be. The tech market is more volatile, and while the S&P has been slowly recovering, the days of easy money are gone. Benefits are also shifting. Instead of companies solely focusing on flashy perks like on-site chefs and nap pods, it's more going towards the essentials, healthcare benefits, mental well-being programs, and strong retirement plans. And then there is work-life balance, something that's finally being treated with the seriousness it deserves. So if you're trying to break into tech as a junior developer or any tech job, the game is tougher. Companies are favoring experienced hires because less risk and more immediate value. This is not to discourage anyone, but projects are your currency. The more real-world problems you have solved, the more appealing you are to potential employers. That means working on a startup, for a startup, and contributing to open source is one of the best ways to stand out. Participating in hackathons or building projects that solve actual problems, even if they're small, demonstrate initiative. It's no longer enough to know just theory. Employers want to see a portfolio of what you can do and, most importantly, how you think. Let's talk about burnout, a reality that tech cannot ignore anymore. The industry has matured in many ways in its approach to mental well-being, but it's still an intense place to work. Startups especially are notorious for crunch periods and always on mentality. Larger firms are trying to change this narrative. They're giving more paid time off, encouraging employees to take paid vacations, and integrating mental health services into their benefit programs like we mentioned before. The main reason for that is companies have recognized burned out employees are not the most productive. Balancing a high pressure career with mental wellness is a skill in and out of itself. And every software developer or someone who's getting into tech needs to learn this skill. Networking, perhaps the one constant in tech industry. In 2024, referrals are the most common way people get jobs. Building relationships is invaluable. Attend those conferences, even if they're virtual. Reach out to people on LinkedIn. And when you do, don't just ask for jobs. Offer your skills, ask for advice, and create meaningful connections. Remember, being genuinely interested in a person will take you much further than a copy-paste message asking for a favor. So, what does the future hold for tech software jobs? The industry is evolving, no question. AI is becoming more integrated, and the demand for multi-skilled developers are growing. And the job stability isn't what it used to be. And that's the beauty of this field. It's dynamic, and if you can keep up, you will find that opportunities are still incredible. It's not about whether there's a place for you in tech. It's about whether you're willing to adapt, learn, and grow with it. If you are, sky is the limit. The reality of tech in 2024 and beyond is that it's both challenging and rewarding. The dream isn't dead, it's just different. It's for those who are adaptable, curious, and ready to face challenges head on. If that's you, I believe then there's always a place for you in this industry.